you currently have a problem with your emails not landing in the inbox of your subscribers, and one way you'd know this is just because you've got low email open rates, then it's really important you fix this as quick as possible. Because the more emails you can get in front of your subscribers, and of course them opening them, you then get more engagement with your audience and then the potential to make more sales. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 tips and strategies to considerably improve your email deliverability, getting your emails in front of your audience and landing in the right place, which is in their inbox instead of the spam folder or the promotions folder. Now, just so you know, I don't think it's really possible to get 100% of all your emails into people's inboxes. I think that's just unrealistic. But by making these changes, you can make a considerable difference to your email deliverability and hitting their inbox way more of the time. And if you stick with me to the end of the video, then I'm also going to share with you 3 things that you absolutely must avoid when it comes to email marketing. Now, in this video, I'm going to be showing you a few tips that you can do inside of your System.io account to improve your email deliverability. That said, these tips and strategies are all applicable to any email platform you might be using. And I've used quite a few of them over the years, including Aweber and GetResponse and MailChimp and iContacts and so on. So let's jump in and start improving your email deliverability. Okay, so now in our System.io account, the first thing I'd like you to do is come up to the top right, hover over your profile icon, come to settings, and then in the left sidebar, come to emails. And that will bring you to this page right here. So the first thing we need to talk about is the boring bit before we get to some of the more interesting techniques and strategies to improve your email deliverability. But this is super important. It needs to be covered first, I'd say. And that first thing is to set up a custom email address to send your emails from and get it verified. So a lot of people on my channel ask me in the comments, why can't I just use a free email address like a Gmail or Yahoo and send my business emails from that? Now, while technically you can connect an email address like that to System.io and try and send your emails, whereas some other email platforms like Aweber or ActiveCampaign, some of them will allow you to do it, but a lot of them won't allow you to do it at all. But that said, in my opinion, it's completely just a waste of time anyway, because the email service providers that your subscribers are using, they're going to be Gmail or Yahoo or Microsoft or services like that. And those services have really, really highly tuned nowadays their spam filters. And as and when they detect business or marketing related emails coming from a free email address like a Gmail or Yahoo, then that has a really, really high chance of triggering those spam filters and your email just gets into spam anyway. So all your efforts are wasted. It really does pay just to take a little bit of extra time just to get this set up properly. So what you need to do is get a custom domain. So as you see, mine here is entrepreneurnut.com, which is my website. And it's also my brand. And I created steve@entrepreneurnut.com, and then I got it verified inside of System.io, and you're good to go. So as you see, this email address at the top here, it's got this little triangle next to the status, which means this email address is not yet verified. So once that triangle disappears and the status looks like this, then you're good to go. Now, I'm not going to go into the steps and exactly how to set all that up in this video, but if you haven't done this yet, super important to get it done, and you can watch this video that I'm showing on the screen right now. That video will walk you through step by step exactly on how to get this done. And then the second boring bit, just to get done and out of the way, you only have to do it once, don't worry. So once your custom domain is set up with your sender email, you also just need to add a few DNS records, which are known as SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. So those records will then let email service providers like Gmail and Yahoo and Hotmail and so on, will let them know that you have authorized System.io or whichever platform you're using to send emails on your behalf. And secondly, they also protect you and protect your email address from being hijacked and used by hackers. So really important to set that up. And I also have a step-by-step video to show you exactly how to get that done. It's right here on the screen I'm showing right now. Left that video also in the description below this video, so it's easy for you to find it. So after you've watched this video, go and watch those 2 videos just to make sure you got those things set up correctly. Okay, so now back in System.io, and we're still in the same area. We're in settings and under emails. And let's scroll down, and now we have this area here, this option for automatic list cleaning. So it's really important that you clean your email list every now and again to remove subscribers who are no longer opening or engaging with your emails. Because if you keep sending emails to people who are no longer opening them, then that's going to hurt your email deliverability over time. So it's not really about how big your email list is, it's about how engaged they are. So it's much better to have a smaller list with engaged subscribers rather than a big list but not very engaged subscribers. And I know a lot of people worry about this. They worry about removing people from their email list. I get it, but it is important to do to keep your deliverability strong. And one very well-known, very successful email marketer once told me that get into the habit of feeling good or having a little celebration when you see someone unsubscribing from your email list. So they just let you know that they're not the right fit for your audience. And that's absolutely fine. So in effect, they're helping you then to keep your list clean. So you can do this manually by going into the CRM up here, going to contacts and then filtering for your subscribers. But it's much easier to set this up to do it automatic. So this first option here says every week, delete contacts. I've not opened your email for, I've got this set to 26 weeks. So that's just over 6 months, and to have never purchased anything from you. And this option here, every week will unsubscribe contacts who have not opened any email for 26 weeks and who have purchased something from you. So if they've never purchased anything from you and they haven't opened an email for 6 months, then you might as well just delete them. If they have purchased from you before in the past, it shows they're potentially still a decent customer to keep on your list. But if they haven't opened any emails for 6 months, then that is hurting your deliverability. So if you just unsubscribe them but not delete them, that then does not remove them completely from your system.io account. It will just unsubscribe them, but the email address will still be in there. So then you have the option to re-engage them by sending them a re-engagement email campaign, which is typically anything from 2 to 4 emails, just to say, hey, see you haven't opened our emails for a while, just want to check if you still want to receive emails from us. You can also offer them a freebie and entice them to re-engage. So if they do open those emails and engage, then you can tag them and then put them back into your broadcast sequence. But if they don't engage with that, then you might as well just delete them. Then tip number 3 is leverage this email footer right here. Now, this is a clever little tip I picked up from a guy who's probably one of the top email marketers in the world. It's a friend of mine called Igor Kafitz. So Igor told me that you can leverage this email footer right here to help to water down any potential spam trigger words that might be in your emails. So one way that email spam filters work is they'll filter through your email to see if there are any potential spam trigger words in that email. That's all fine, but the problem is some of those words, they're quite difficult to avoid depending on what industry you're in. For example, words like weight loss or lose weight can potentially trigger a spam filter. But what if you're working in the weight loss industry or you're a fitness instructor that specializes in weight loss? It's quite difficult to send your subscribers emails without mentioning those kinds of words. Also, words like pain relief. You might be a physio and you might be emailing your list to help them with techniques to relieve pain. And certainly in the business or marketing space, words like traffic or marketing, things like that can potentially trigger spam filters, which is a bit annoying. So basically, as I understand it, these spam filters will read through your email and grade them on a ratio to potential spam words to regular words. Now, I've no idea what those ratios are, but if the spam filters detect or suspect that your email has too many potential spam trigger words, then that in itself could trigger the spam filter and push your email into the spam box. So using this footer, first of all, it makes you look more legit anyway. So you can put information about your privacy policy and things like that in here. It's what a lot of big businesses do anyway. So in a sense, you start to look like a bigger business anyway. But then this extra content in the footer of your emails can help to dilute any potential words that possibly might trigger a spam filter. And like I said, it can be completely innocent. There might be words that you just need to use. But having an email footer like this will give you a bit more of a chance. Now, just to let you know, this is fairly lengthy. If I copy this, I'm going to go paste it into wordcounts.net to show you the word count. It's about 600 words. See that? So it's fairly lengthy. And of course, I make sure there's no potential spam trigger words in here. And it's just a bit of blurb about me and my business, and then also a bit about my privacy policy and things like that. All you need to do is paste it right in here, scroll up to the top and click the save button, and you're good to go. That way, this text will then appear at the bottom of all of your emails. Now, if you want a list of potential spam trigger words, then I've left a link in the description below this video to a list of potential spam trigger words that could be culprits that could trigger a spam filter. One little trick I like to do is once I've written my email, I sometimes paste that into ChatGPT, also paste a list of the potential spam trigger words, ask Chat to filter my email and then flag up any words that it thinks might trigger a spam filter and then give me suggestions how I can rephrase that. That's a handy little trick you can use. Then once you've made your changes, your email is ready to send to your subscribers. So now back inside the system.io, and we're going to go up to the top and go to CRM and go to contacts. And the next technique or the next tip is to come over to the filter on the left-hand side, come down to contact state, hit the checkbox, and from the drop down, what we want to do is we want to see if any of our emails are bouncing. So click on the bounced, and now it's going to show us any emails that are bouncing. So these are emails that are essentially undeliverable. And again, if these will remain in your account and you keep trying to send emails to these people, these emails are bouncing, that again is going to hurt your deliverability. So what I do once every few days or sometimes once a week or something like that, I come in, just check this, see if there's any bouncing emails. And if there are, I'm going to delete all of them. So I check all of them and then come down to the bottom, click on delete, confirm on that, and that's that. They're all gone. So before I tell you about 3 things that you want to avoid when it comes to email marketing, I've got one more tip I'm going to share with you to help improve your email deliverability, and that is to encourage your subscribers to whitelist your emails. And a quick and easy way to do that is in your first email when a person subscribes to your email list, is to ask them to whitelist your email address and then give them a link to some quick instructions to show them exactly how to do it. And this link right here goes to this page on my website where it gives them the quick instructions to whitelist the email address depending on which email service provider they're using. Now you can get access to this whitelist guide to copy and paste on your own website, along with my complete guide on how to both improve your email deliverability and improve your open rate once your emails are landing in the inbox. This guide here I've titled 3x your email open rate and avoid the spam folder. This guide has 25 tips and strategies that I used that resulted in me 3xing my email open rate. And this guide, straight to the point, tells you all the tips and techniques, as well as telling you about the little things that you might not even be aware of that's damaging your email deliverability and or resulting in people just not opening your emails. So once I learned these strategies, my email open rate increased considerably. So I've also put this guide into an audiobook as well, so it's quicker and easier for you to consume. I've recorded that with my own voice. I haven't used AI to record the voice. And you also get the done for you footer template as well as the whitelist guide as well. So just so you're aware, the average email open rate for business or marketing related emails is around 21%. So if your email open rate is below that, then you need to make some changes in order to bring that up. And going back into my system.io account, if we come to emails and statistics, I can show you my average percentage open rate is around 36.8%, which is considerable improvement from where it was before I discovered these techniques. Like I said, with implementing these techniques, I personally was able to improve my email open rate by around 3x. So these strategies definitely make a difference. So if you want to access this guide, then you can get access via the link in the description below this video. Okay, now, so as I said earlier, I was also going to tell you 3 things that you should avoid when it comes to email marketing. And the first one is to avoid putting too many links in your emails. Now, some people make the mistake of putting quite a lot of links, be it affiliate links or links to different pages in your website or different offers and things like that. It can really hurt your email deliverability, unfortunately. Now, you've got to think about it in the way that email service providers like Gmail and Yahoo, they're comparing all emails to an email that you might send to your friend. So it's not very common that you might send an email to your friend with like 5 or 10 links in it. You might do sometimes, but it's not very common. So generally, it's safer to keep it to just 1 or maybe maximum 2 links per email. You're just going to definitely have a better success rate with your emails landing in the inbox doing that. And my email marketing mentor actually told me to use a maximum of 2 links per email, but both those links should go to the same destination. So it's actually just 1 URL per email. Now, sometimes I do break that rule. Sometimes I put 2 or max 3 different URLs in there. I very rarely do that. It's usually 1, sometimes 2 different URLs in an email. Second thing that you want to avoid, besides the spam trigger words that I mentioned, and like I said, I have put a link to a blog post in the description of this video with a list of spam trigger words to avoid. You also want to avoid using excessive punctuation, particularly excessive exclamation marks. I generally try to avoid exclamation marks anyway. Sometimes I do use them, but certainly I wouldn't do like 3 exclamation marks after a sentence, for example. That can be a big red flag, as well as using too much upper caps. Now, I do also use upper caps sometimes, but I certainly wouldn't do like a whole sentence upper caps or anything like that. For me, when I do it, it's usually 1 word or 1 phrase here and there to get something to stand out. And that's generally fine. And sometimes, fairly quite often actually, I might use upper caps on an impact word in the subject line, something like that. That is also fine to do, but just don't overdo it. And the third thing I'd really highly recommend is don't buy email lists. First of all, when you buy the email lists and then you try to import it into your email service provider, like if you're using Aweber or System.io or ActiveCampaign, things like that, there's a high chance they're going to ask you, where did you get the list from? And they just might not allow you to import it anyway, because they want to know that the people on that list have given you permission to email them. So if you've bought that list, then they haven't given you permission to email them. And I'm not sure what it is like in all parts of the world, but I do know if you're in the EU, then that's actually illegal to be sending those people emails. You need to have them opting in via your own means of generating that lead. And second of all, if you do use a list that you've purchased, there's a high chance that a lot of those emails are either going to bounce or those people are just going to not open the emails anyway because they don't know who you are. They'll likely just unsubscribe or worse, mark you as spam. And if a percentage of those people do mark you as spam, that's really going to damage your email deliverability. Or worse, it could get your emails blacklisted, which is a right pain to sort out. So you don't want that to have happen. And thirdly, if your email provider, so in our case, System.io, or if you're using Aweber GetResponse, if they start to see that you're getting a high amount of people marking you as spam, they also need to protect their own interest, their own servers, because they're sending your emails through their servers. What they very well may do is move your email account onto a different sending IP address within their system that's not very good and doesn't have very good deliverability. Because what they do is they monitor all their users and they'll grade their users by safe senders, so people who have good email practices, medium or bad. And if you're in the bad category, i.e. you're getting a lot of spam complaints or you're getting a lot of people unsubscribing a lot or just people not engaging their emails, after time, they may shift you to a bad IP address, which would even further decrease your deliverability. So it's really important to try and keep your deliverability strong. It's all in my guide if you want to improve your email marketing. Now, if you've got value from this video, then please do like, share and subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot and I really appreciate it. Now, if you want to know how to leverage Google's trusted servers to send your emails to considerably improve your email deliverability, even while still using platforms like System.io or Aweber or GetResponse or whatever email marketing platform you want to use, then watch this video right here.